Do you have a dual date 1776 to 1976 coin? Do you know what it's worth? Do you know what makes them valuable? Stay tuned, because we're going to talk about that in this video. This is PortsmouthCoinShop.com. This is my retail website for my coin shop. I have a brick and mortar coin shop, and it's a mom and pop. I own it myself, and I have some specials going on right now. I just put up a few things last night. Some Morgan dollars that I purchased, really nice coins. I thought I'd just put up here and kind of random date them. I do have some dates listed here. No guarantee on dates, but I do have some nice coins. So if you get a chance, just check it out. So you hear a lot about 1776, 1976 Bicentennial coins. Now those coins are modern. They're not from 1776. The dual date doesn't make them worth more money, but it does make them a little more desirable because it's the only time that you have a dual date on a circulated coin. So now these were issued starting in 75, and I'll show you a proof set. We got a proof set. They come in a black box, 1975. Now these are the type 1. Now what's important to note is on the reverse of the Ike Dollar, this is how you know it's a type 1, is you have thicker, broader letters. Now as you notice, the letters are just kind of flat, but they're just broader. When you look at the 76 version of that, which is the type 2, you will see thin letters. See how much thinner the letters are? It's kind of hard to put this up together because of the way the focus is, but if you can take a look, you can see the difference. So there, the 75 is your type 1, and 76 is your type 2. Now, these are Clad sets, but you did have some sets that came in 40% silver. These were considered the SMS that came in these two packs, and they'll have the quarter, half dollar, as well as the Eisenhower dollar. There also was a proof versions that were 40% as well, and they came in packages like this. And there's your proof, and they'll have the deep cameo. Now your SMS or your special mint sets that came out, like I showed you in the red envelope there, or the white envelope with the red writing on it, they have this finish on them. It's kind of a white finish. There's no copper core on the sides or anything like that on these. So if you get an idea here, if you find a circulated Eisenhower dollar, or you're finding some Eisenhower dollars that have these dates on them, or Kennedy halves or quarters, a lot of them call the quarters the drummer boy quarters because the reverse has a drummer boy, and I'll show you that. A lot of people think that makes them extremely valuable. It does not make them extremely valuable. You hear this a lot online, and the thing about it is that it's not a drummer boy in the first place. That's a man that's on that drummer. It's just terminology people use to try to make it sound valuable so that you can identify it. It has a drummer on the back. You know, these coins celebrated the bicentennial of the United States of America. You know, these coins represent something important, but they weren't rare, okay? So what we'll do is we're going to look at when these coins can be rare, when they can be valuable. Now, these do have some value. You can sell these sets, you know, $10 to $15 a piece. The proofs can go for up to 25, and these can go for 18 to 20 bucks. So you have some value in them. There's some silver in them, at least in the SMS and the proof in the little square box I showed you. So they do have that value. So what we'll do, we'll start off with the Washington quarters. We're on PCGS Price Guide, and this is probably, and it's not the only place, but this is one of the places that you want to look if you're looking for, let's say, what value they have in a certain grade. Now, I don't care how nice a coin looks to you. It can look perfect. That does not mean the coin is going to have the grade it needs to be worth the money. So what we're going to do, we'll scroll down and we're going to take a look at the Bicentennial Clad quarters. And as you can see, here's what it looks like if it's grades 67, 75 bucks. If you can get a plus grade on it, it's $27.50, and that's just because there's probably only one or two that's actually got the plus grade. Very difficult to get that grade. Now you do notice that this one has a D and this one does not. It is normal for these coins not to have a P mint mark. Not to have a mint mark means they were minted at the Philadelphia Mint. That is normal, does not add any value at all. Now, the 76D, if you can get that one in 68, then it's 5200, but those grades are just near impossible to get. Now, you do have for the D, and the D only, as far as PCGS has it listed here, is a double die obverse FS101, and then you have an FS102. As you can see, one of them is worth more than the other. So there are double dies to look for in the 76D that are valuable enough to warrant searching. Then you have the 76S silver. Now here you can see in 65. Now remember, grading fees are going to supersede all these values. And what if you think you have a 68 and ends up being 67? $22 is not going to cover your grading cost. If you can get a 69, and then again, that's going to be a lottery grade. You're just not going to be able to get something like that. I mean, that's just, you can try. I mean, people send off sets all the time trying to get that grade. And most don't, because as you can, I can tell you this, we can take a look really fast. It'll show you the populations of that grade. And you can see how many, since 1976, people have looked for these in higher grades. But, you know, since the 80s, there's dealers that have, the 80s have sent multiple sets after multiple sets in just to get, and 369s have been netted since the 80s. So, you know, there you have it. It's very difficult to get. And here, the 67 plus is another one, only one. And you get all kinds of them in 68. I mean, there's a population of them, at least, more than the, as you can see, a lot of people sent these in. These could be resubmits. There might only be one. Who knows? You know, someone trying to get a 70 or whatever. Then we go to the Kennedy half dollar. And we're looking at the 76 Clad. As you can see, 67's a grade. If you can get a 66, it's still worth it. If you get a 65, it depends on how much you got in the set plus, or the coin itself, because we're talking about, you know, business strikes. And then you've got the D. There's no varieties here for those listed at PCGS, but as you can see the values here and what it would cost you, what grade you have to get to warrant the value. Then you do have, for the silver, the 76S, you do have the double die FS101, and that one is basically $750 in 68, but it's still worth something in the lower grades if it's circulated here, because you can have circulated proofs, circulated SMS. Then you have the Ike Dollar, and for the 76s here, as you can see, type 1, type 2, how much the differences are in values and what grades you have to attain before they're worth something. So the type 1 without a mint mark, which is Philadelphia, it's worth 115 and 65. So you think you got a 65, that one's probably the only one worth trying, because at least a 65 is a little more attainable out of a mint set possibly. When you come down here to the 76 SMS, like I said, you're looking at you know, 68, 67 at the least. If it really starts digging into the profit there, digging into your premium when you get to 30 or 66, because $35 is pretty close. And you might have so much in a set in the first place, then you got your time, shipping, membership fees, and all that. So as you can see, it's not easy to get these in grades that are worth money. So then you come down here, and these are the Clad proofs. You got to get a 70 to even be worth it. And believe me, when they're worth this much, they are low pops, very difficult to get. And then you got your silver proofs. Your NOS type 2, I mean, you're just not going to find one of those. I mean, I know a lot of people think because they don't have a mint mark, that's not it. If you have no mint mark coin, it can be struck at Philadelphia. It literally has to be a decam proof, and that's a special look. We can take a look at it. But first off, I want to show you this one here, Dave Hall signature. This is worth a little bit more because of that holder, but that's just a holder. That's not a variety or anything. So this is typically your value. Only one of them exists in 66. That's it. That's just not something you're going to find. It's a special coin. Then we'll go back to the Washington quarters, and I'm going to go to the proof tab for the Washington quarters because they don't have just the proofs listed on the business strike side. So you want to take a look and see which ones are worth something in the proofs. You just scroll down here, and you can see here's the Clad, here's the silver. Okay, there's no varieties on the PCGS side. They're just not very valuable, as you can see. You got to get a 70. Very difficult to get that grade. A lot of times you're going to get a 69 and you're going to put all that money in it and get something that's worth maybe 25, 30 bucks. So we go to the Kennedy halves, and it's the same thing here. You go to the proof tab there, and you scroll down to look for the 76s. And then again, you've got, just pretty much they've got to be 70 to be worth messing with as far as sending them off. You got a DDR, which is double die reverse for the 76S. And that's the proof. Now these here will drop down, but it's just for, if it's cameo, it's worth more. If it's deep cameo, it's worth more as the double die reverse. So you do have that to look for in the Kennedys. It's worth a little bit more money. Then you have the 76S. This is the silver version, the 40%. As you can see, it's got to be 70. Very difficult to get that grade. We already looked at the proofs for the Eisenhower dollar. So other than that, if there's anything else to be found in the 76s, then you can always come over here to Kunica, Variety Vista, and see if there's any listed for those years. Let's say we got the Worsted quarters up first, and you can take a look, see if there's anything in 76, and there is. There's 76D and 76S. So it gives you an idea. These are more minor double dies that are not going to be worth a bunch of money, but then again, if you're looking for double dies in these years and you want to look for it, that's what you would do, is come over here to Variety Vista. And we're also, if you want to look for the Kennedy halves for that year, see if there's any more for the 76. And there is 76S, the proof, and the 76D, which is the business strike, and the 76 without a mint mark, which is the Philadelphia. And those are, like I said, you can look in when you find them, try to find one that has these little double dies on it. Now, like I said, these are the more common double dies that PCGS wouldn't recognize some of these, just the ones they have on their site. NGC might recognize more. Annex tends to recognize a lot of these. You might get it labeled a double die from them. And it's a little bit cheaper through Annex to do that. Same thing we can do with the Eisenhower dollars if you want to look for double dies. And there might be some RPMs for these. Like I said, yes, there is. For each one, there's even more, so you can come over here and find those. Now, if you want to see images, it is a good idea that you might want to come over to Wexler's Double Die and see if he has images of these and look for the double die listings. And like I said, it's good to learn about double dies, so I would encourage you to come over here and also look that up as well. But here's the double die listings. So we can come down and look for Worsted quarters, the Eisenhower dollars, and the Kennedy halves. So we'll just do Worsted quarters really fast and see if he's got a 76 listed here. And he does. He has a 76D listed, so you can actually get an idea what that looks like. So hopefully that helps you understand the values of these. They're really common, not worth a whole lot of money, no mint mark, like I said, Philadelphia. Some of the proofs, some of the silver, there are some double dies to look for in these. So that will give you a chance to kind of look through sets, because these are readily available. You can get a lot of these Clad sets and silver sets, the 40%, and go through them and look for something good. A lot of people do that. And thanks for watching my video, and hit the sub button, and have a great day.